I will continue our report of Group 3. Positioning. Establishing a specific image for a brand in relation to competing brands. When we say positioning, it conveys the concept of the product or service of how it fulfills the need of the consumer. Basically, it is a perception on how to make the consumer buy the products. The next. Or ito ay isang pag-unawa sa kung paano gawin ang consumer na bumili ng produkto. Next. Reposition. Changing the way a product is perceived by consumer in relation to other brands or product uses. Uses. It can be done through making or creating an image or service offering on which has already in the minds of consumers. Some way to do is making slogan that represent the brand's promise. The next. Reference price. Any price that a consumer uses as a basis of comparison is judging another price. Repositioning is about changing the brand for the better version of it. Like for example, change the brand to the preferences of the consumer, which makes the product be sold out. Or pagpapalitan ng tatak sa mga kagustuhan ng mamimili kung saan nabili ang produkto. Reference prices. External reference price and the internal reference price. There are issues in preserving a price, and there are the reference price and the tensile and objective price claim. Let me discuss first the reference price that consists of the two external and the internal reference price. Speaking of external reference price, it talks about the period of a product, the brand image, the retail store image, or the country of origin. And when we say internal reference price, it is about the size, the color, flavor, or aroma, and etc. of the product. Next. The next is tensile. Tensile. An objective price claims is about stating the minimum and maximum discount level of the price of the product. Or intrinsic cues. Physical characteristic of the product such as size, color, flavor, or aroma that serve to influence the consumer's perception of product quality. And halimbawa, sa paghiwatig ng pagbasa ng isang libro dahil nasayahan ka sa pagbasa at may interes sa pag-aaral. Yun yung example ng intrinsic cues. Next, extrinsic cues. Extrinsic cues. Cues external to the product such as price, store image, or brand image that serve to influence the consumer's perception of product quality. Halimbawa, nasiyahan ka sa paggugol ang araw mo sa paggawa ng ibang bagay bukod sa trabaho, ngunit kailangan mo magtrabaho dahil kailangan mo ng paycheck upang mabayaran ang inyong mga bayarin. extrinsic cues ay yung mga halimbawa ng means ng may mga bagay na nang nanilibang ka, pero kailangan mo pa rin ang trabaho para sa mga pangangailangan mo araw-araw o sa mga sa kailangan mo araw-araw at sa iyong sarili. That's all. Thank you.
A blessed day, everyone. I'm going to discuss the characteristics of services, but before that, let us first define service. So, service is an action that the person does for someone else, which is considered as non-physical, intangible parts of our economy and do not result in the ownership of anything. It means that services cannot be touched, seen, heard, smelled, or tasted, unlike sa mga goods or products yang makita ta sa market nga pwede tayo mauyatan, matilawan, or matistingan. An example for this is, if magkadto ka sa doctor para magpa-check up, you don't bring something out of the doctor's clinic, unlike yung magkadto ka sa pharmacy, magbakal ka sa pharmacy nga may ara ka gidya items or products nga bitbiton. In addition, service is produced in the buyer-seller interaction and cannot be manufactured, stored, and transported. Meaning, it is produced only in the time of consumption, kag hindi pwede nga himuon nga daan ng service before the purchase of the consumer. An example, magpamanicure. Hindi pwede nga manicure nga daan ang manicurista para kung magkadto kasi may hatag sa simon. No, hindi pwede because ikaw ang consumer, imo ko ang manicurean, so himuon sang service provider ang iyang service the moment nga mag-approach ka na sa iya. An examples of services are banking, education, medical treatment, transportation, car repair, haircut, car wash, and so, okay, let's proceed to the characteristics of services. Okay, services are intangible, variable, perishable, and simultaneously produced and consumed. So, let's tackle first the intangibility of the service. Service intangibility means that services cannot be seen, tasted, felt, heard, or smelled before they are bought. Meaning, we cannot use our 5 sensory organs antes tabaklon or i-purchase ang isa ka service sa isa ka service provider. An example, mga spa. One of the spa treatments being offered is the massage treatment. We, as a consumer, example, ikaw kadto ka sa spa, you cannot feel the service being rendered unless i-consume mo ni or ma-experience mo na. So, the service variability refers to the fact that the quality of services can vary greatly depending on who provides them and when, where, and how. There is a great difference in the quality of service provided by various providers or even by the same providers at different times. But silingon, even though you have the same service provider, the quality of the service may not be the same as the service provided somewhere else or kung sa din yan naging provide si mo with different time and how it was done. Example, ang Seneco. Even though we have the same energy provider in our town that supplies our electricity, the quality of its service may differ during sunny days and rainy days because kabalo kita nga magkusog ang ulan or kung gainulan may mga galinupok nga mga wires or may gakabulog to. So, another example is ang mga couriers. If ga-start ka sa lugar which is along accessible roads, more likely ma-receive mo gid ng imo parcel right in front of your gate. Unlike lang kung ga-start ka sa bukid, syempre as a consumer, you should be considerate with your courier. Pwede nga either ma-meet lang kamo sa kundi lang kaya ma-access ang iya nga ganyan gamit nga salakyan. Basi may talabukon pa nga suba pa to sinyo, to syempre di katabok niya nga either single or van. So dapat nang matabog ka mo. So the service provided sa imo nga gi-star sa bukid is lain sa service nga na-provide sa ga-star sa city. So from these two examples, we can say nga ang quality sang service gadepende sa oras or panahon kag sa lugar kung diin gina-perform ang service. Okay, the third characteristic is the service perishability. It means that the service capacity cannot be stored for sale in the future. In other words, services cannot be inventoried. Once a service is rendered to a customer, it is completely consumed and cannot be delivered to another customer to resold. Meaning, once ang service na use na or nagamit na, hindi na pwede nga matago, hindi na pwede nga i-save pa, hindi na pwede ibalik, or hindi na pwede ibaligya paliwat. An example for this is, transportation. Example, nagsakay ka sa bus sa Ceres from Silay to Talisay. And syempre, ang conductor mahatag na si mo ya bus ticket. The moment nga usar mo na ang ticket nga na, you cannot use it again. Kung halin ka na sa Talisay, magbalik ka na sa Silay, hindi mo na pwede magamit nga ticket. Hindi mo na pwede magamit ang service nga na-provide sa imo halin sa Silay pakadto sa Talisay. Okay, so the fourth characteristic is simultaneously produced and consumed. It means that service products are consumed at the same time they are being produced. It means that the moment ka ang service gina-produce or ginahimo or gina-render sa imo, that's also the same time nga gina-consuman ang service sang consumer or ikaw kang consumer, mo man na ang pag-consume mo sang product kung diin nga ginahimo man ang service. Unlike sa mga products nga i-produce danay, i-store, tapos ibaligya. And then, most of the time, ara gidya syempre ang service provider during the consumption. Example, ang dentist, let's say nagpa-brace ka. While the dentist was doing your braces, you availed and consumed his service during that time. Now, let us discuss the ServQual dimensions for measuring service quality. So, ServQual is a multi-dimensional research instrument published by academic researchers, namely Parasuraman, Zithamil, and Berry in the year 1985. It is considered as the most popular standardized questionnaire to measure service quality and customer satisfaction. It means that the gaps between customers' expectation of service and the perception for actual service is being measured. Before, it consists of 10 dimensions, but it was reduced to 5 dimensions due to testing and retesting. These 5 dimensions are the 5 service dimensions that the customers care about or in which your customers, consciously or not, evaluate your business. So, the 5 dimensions are tangibles, reliability, responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. Tangibles. It is the appearance of physical facilities, equipment, personnel, and communication materials. It is presenting your company professionally. Example, at a spa, tangibles might include the decor, soothing aromas, and warm towels. Reliability. It is the ability to perform the promised service dependably and accurately. Doing what you say you're going to do it when you said you were going to do it. It means delivering your service as you promised. Example, you're a tailor and your customer take a pair of jeans to you. When she returned to pick them up, she expect them to fit and to be ready at the promised time. Example, kung nagambal kasi nga balikon niya sa Domingo nga adlaw, kag tapos pagbalik niya wala pa binahuman or nahuman man gid pero halog Japon siyang jeans, pwede siya makambal sa kugulingon niya ay ka unreliable man siya nga service provider man. So hindi ka man nami nga service provider para sa iya. Responsiveness, willingness to help. It is the willingness to help customers and provide prompt service, respond quickly, promptly, rapidly, immediately, instantly, and being available for customers during the times and channels that they prefer. It is addressing queries within the expected time frame. Example, sa FB, may mga online shops nga galabay sa aton wall. There is an option there nga pwede mo ma-ask ang price or specific information regarding the service nga gina-offer. There are some nga pertigi siya kadugay mag-respond, so kis amo man ang rason why wala ta gina patronize ang ilang nga service nga gina-offer. So assurance, knowledge and courtesy of employees and their ability to convey trust and confidence, as well as the service providers are expected to be the experts of the service they are delivering. So it is inspiring confidence or building customers' trust towards your service. Example, if you want to open an online banking account, you'd want to know how your money is protected. A bank can build assurance by featuring short videos and FAQ that discuss your rights, the measures they've taken to secure sensitive information, and what you can do if someone hacks your account. So, kung gusto mo ko na mag-open account online ng ang bangko, no, pwede na ma-assure sa imo as a customer nga ang ila service is manamig siya by ng showing kuno sa mga or featuring mga videos kag nagpabalo sa imo kung anong imo mga rights, anong pwede nimo mahimo kung mahaka, kag anong ilang ginahimo para ma-protektahan ang imo information ginahatag sila para hindi magamit sa iban nga ma-hack ng imo mga account. So empathy, it is caring, individualized attention the firm provides its customers. So customers should feel that the provider employees care about them during delivery. Example, your customer mentioned a specific problem. You can show her that you care about her by adding a few sentences that acknowledge the specific problem mentioned, then describing how that issue is being addressed. Sa pagkuno kung mangkot sa hindi lang sabto mo iya pamangkot kundi madugang kapag yung mga information related sa iyang ipamangkot para mas maintindihan niya kag tuduan mo siya kung paano yun na i-address. A conceptual model of the components of transaction satisfaction. So the components of transaction satisfaction are evaluation of service quality, the SQ, evaluation of product quality, the PQ, and the evaluation of price, P. This model shows that the service quality, the product quality, as well as the price influences the transaction satisfaction or TSAT, the T-SAT. You have to make sure that your consumer is satisfied with your service and products by evaluating the expected service quality, the expected product quality, and the expected price of your customers in order for you to have a satisfactory transaction. Price-quality relationship. It is the perception of price as an indicator of product quality. Example given, the higher the price, the higher the perceived quality of the product. So, sa price-quality relationship ko, no, syempre, ang consumer dra, expect nga kung taas ang presyo sa isa ka product or service, meaning ang quality sina is mayo man or high quality man. The conceptual model of the effects of price, brand name, and store name on perceived value. So, letter A, the conceptual relationship of price effect. It is a concept that looks at the effect of market prices on consumers' demand or consumers' willingness to buy. The price effect is an important analysis for businesses in setting the offering price of their goods and services. So, meaning ko, no, ang price dra ga depend ang demand, kada mo unsang demand sang consumer or ang iyang willingness to buy sang imo nga product or services. So ang price effect kuno, ang epekto sang presyo, importante na kuno sa mga businessman because dira sila gabase sang kung paano nila presyohan ang ilang product or services, kung pila ang ila ipresyo sa ilang nga gina-offer nga product or services. So an example, may kapang manicure sa inyong lugar, let's say the objective price is 150 pesos. If you are the consumer, your perception of price would be mahal. Siyempre kay madagalibod nga tag 70 lang or tag 80 lang. So mahambal ka mahal. Because the price is expensive, you perceive that its service quality is nami or good. Tungod nga do ka mahal siya, expect ka man niya nga siyempre nami man iya nga pang manicure. Since the perceived quality is high, the perceived value is also high. Tungod nga expect ka nga nami iya nga quality sa ikaw man dumaano ka man nga i-purchase na kag because of this or ibaklo na, because of this your willingness to buy is being influenced. On the other hand, if the objective price is 150 pesos and your perception of price is expensive, there will be perceived sacrifice. Like for example, if you will buy that service, if mapamanicure ka, it's either you cannot buy your other needs na like food or something. Sample, kung da inugbakal karon bibugas, tayong pamanicure ka ged. Since you have perceived sacrifice, ang imo nga willingness to buy will also be influenced. Letter B, extended conceptualization to include brand name and store name. So this concept is the extension of the conceptual relationship of price effect. It elucidates on how the brand names and store names affects the consumer's willingness to buy. Example, bag. Sample nisa sa how brand name affects the willingness to buy of the consumer. Example, ang product is bag. The brand name is Louis Vuitton. So the perception of brand will be luxurious, meaning mahal. If mahal, the perceived quality of the consumer will be high. Kung tungod nga mahal siya, syempre abot silingon nami quality, high quality, branded mo. If you belong to the upper class of society, more likely you will put high value in that product. As a result, you will be much willing to buy it. On the other hand, if you belong to the lower class of society, more likely you will put low value in that product because mas unahan mo pa ang basic needs mo before buying luxuries. As a result, you will not be willing to buy that luxury bag. So an example for store names or how store names affect the willingness to buy of the consumer is ang BDO based sa bank. The store name or the bank name is BDO, and customer perceive the store as reputable and professional institution. Hence, the perceived quality of customer will be high. For this reason, the customer will perceive great value that will lead to willingness to buy or pay for the service. Perceived risk. It is the degree of uncertainty perceived by the consumer as to the consequences or outcome of a specific purchase decision. Every time we purchase or consider buying a product, we have certain doubts about that product or service, especially if the product is highly priced. Examples, mga cars, houses, mga machines, antes na ibakal, ga panglumdum kita ko anong pwede nga risk ang makuha tada. Types of perceived risk: functional risk, physical risk, financial risk, psychological risk, and time risk. Functional risk is the risk associated with the functioning of the product. Providing adequate product information and addressing every query of the consumer will go a long way in helping alleviate such kinds of perceived risk. Example, the consumer might be afraid that if they buy a car, the engine or the parts may malfunction. Another example is power bank nga gin-order mo online. You are afraid nga maybe mag-abot di ang product sa imo is wala gagana. Okay, physical risk. The concern that a product will be dangerous and might potentially harm or injure the consumer or someone else. A consumer might be confused about how safe it is to use a particular product or service and thus thinks multiple times before making the purchase. So, providing the consumer an information about the safety of the product can address this type of perceived risk. Example, parents might not buy certain toys because of the fear that their children are not mature enough to play with the toy safely. This is why toys have recommended ages and restrictions printed in the packaging, which can help parents better understand the actual risk versus perceived risk. Another example is ang mga baby soap. So, before a mother purchase a soap for her child, for her baby, gina-check kita danay whether safe na sa bata or ang pH levels ng soap is appropriate sa bata or wala mga side effects kung gamito na sang iya nga baby. She carefully choose the best and right kind of soap. So, financial risk. The customer thinking they might be wasting money on your product or service. The product is not worth the price paid. So, laban-laban doon mo ginang paminsar sa mga customer. Do kubaga ba hindi worth it ang ilagim iginbayad sa ilang nabaton nga service or product. So, the consumer assesses the benefit versus cost of the product. So, ang benefit versus cost of the product, ang muna kung timbang-timbang na sa consumer. Nag-weigh. So, offering some form of guarantee such as warranties, free or complimentary services, having contracts or something free as a gift to offset the perceived financial risk so that consumers will try the product without any concern of losing money. Example, buying a car could leave them with little to no money or with loans that will affect their income for the next few months or even years. Another example, buying a laptop for online class kay basi mag-last lang for how many months lang guba na. Hindi worth it ang ilagin bayad para sa amo na nga product. So, ang financial risk dira gasulod. So, psychological risk. This relates to personal fears and emotions. The product affects the mental well-being of the user. Consumers also face questions about whether a given purchase is the morally right choice or does she or he doing the right thing. You can minimize this type of risk. If you are the businessman, you can minimize this type of risk by playing to your prospects' ego. Example, lots of others just like you have bought the product and feel good about it. So, ang bala mo sa kuno nga damo ni ma'am magkabakal ma'am nga product ma'am sikag damo gini may namian. So, sa paghambal mo muna do hindi siya makulbaan kag do hindi siya malainan bala nga aging purchase na sa imo. So, time risk. If a product breaks or fails a few days after purchase and needs replacement, this is a time risk. You'll need to go back to the store and wait in line to have it replaced or repaired, thus wasting time. Example, just like what happened to my sister. She bought a phone in Robinson and when she came home, there are factory defects nga wala na notice ang ara pa to sa shop yang ginbaklan. And then on the next day, she went back sa kung diin na to ginbakal and she was referred to the service center sang cellphone nga ginbakalya. Thus, her time was wasted just to have it repaired. How consumers handle risk. First, they are seeking information. Then, sometimes they are staying loyal to their brand. Some are selecting products by brand image. Some are relying on store image, buying the most expensive model, and seeking reassurance. So, let's discuss the first one. Seek information. In here, the customers are asking information from their reference group about the products or service that they're going to purchase. Example, they're going to ask their parents, friends, family, co-workers, mga colleagues nila. Pwede man sila ka-search sa mga search engines just like Google. Pwede man sila ka-watch sa YouTube, advertisement, kag of course sa seller. Pwede sila kapamuko sa mga seller. By doing this, ma-avoid nila or malikawan nila ang mga risk nga pwede nila makakuha if they purchase that product or service. Second one is stay brand loyal. Some of the consumers stay loyal in a certain brand of product because they are afraid of the risk of buying a product which is different from the brand he or she used to purchase, especially the product which are new in the market. So, examples na is, ang iba, kung mag-grocery sila, they're afraid to try the new product na makita nila sa mga shelves sa grocery store. So, nahimo nila, stay na lang sila sa ilang mga brands nga ginausar. Select by brand image. Brand image is the perception of customers about a particular brand. It is formed in the minds of customers based upon the experience and interaction of the customers with the brand. So that's the reason why consumers select by brand image to handle the perceived risk, because ako ano na nang ilay ng naandan kumbaga pala kung paano nila i-view ang amo na klase nga brand. So amo man ang pagpili nila sang product. Example, Colgate. Ang the way nila natuloko ng Colgate do ka effective gidya klase nga product bla, because Colgate brand created an image in their mind that it will be better for looking after their teeth and is a good way to maintain their dental and oral health. This brand has managed to create its image, which defines belief and trust. As a result, its consumers are convinced that the brand will deliver satisfactory results. When we say a soap that kills 99.9% of germs, what brand comes into our mind? Of course, ang Safeguard, diba? Because this brand has also created its image, which is effective in killing 99.9% of germs. Rely on store image. Store image is an impression of a store in the minds of consumers. Example, when we say mang inasal, ano gasulod sa utok ta? Diba, namit nga mga chicken inasal, and then there are some nga gakinamot magkaon. So we rely on that store because as Filipinos, we are comfortable of eating using our hands, kag nang we love eating mga chicken inasal. Buy the most expensive model. Some of the consumers buy the most expensive model of a product because they assume that the higher the price, the higher the quality and value of that product is. Example, in buying a cell phone, we choose the latest model, though it is expensive, because the specs of that model was already improved and we expect that its quality is good. So, bisan mahal, we choose to buy that model of phone because nami niya siya kay basta mahal ya mo singon upgraded na mo nami ang quality. So the last one is seek reassurance. These are the things that you say to help people stop worrying about something. So customers are seeking reassurance in order to handle their perceived risk towards a product or service. Thus, businessmen could address this through presenting your company by informing them the company name, corporate address, telephone or fax number, email address, and company history. In addition, emphasizing quality labels, order, and technical guarantees could also help reassuring a customer. Example, you're selling a beauty products and your customer is in doubt of purchasing it. As an entrepreneur, you can reassure her by saying that your product is using organic and natural ingredients. And syempre, some of the consumer mo is yan ng do ka health conscious. Kag syempre, i-apply na nila sa ila yung kagulingon mo. Kasi aga-aware lang sila sa pwede matabo. You can also show her the labels of your products, and by showing the certificate of legitimacy of your business, giving of sample products will also help, as well as by trying it out on your own skin. So, tungod nga para mo reassure mo siya nga safe yung imo product, pwede mo na i-try sa imo nga own skin, ipakita mo siya nga effective, kag good man gid saya, kag tuod ang imo mga ginapanghambal. You can also show her the certificate, kag pwede mo siya mambalang kung diin makita ninyo nga ng main office, or din ang address. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for listening.